Hey guys, and welcome back to my channel. If you didn't know already, my name is Tarte. I am a cruelty-free YouTuber. So if you like my vibe, don't forget to subscribe before you leave. Today's video is going to be all about the new ABH Norvina eyeshadow palette. So I have been testing this out for quite a few weeks now. I bought it as soon as it launched on the ABH site. I have had some issues with their site before. They have sent me my stuff and there hasn't been palettes in it and there hasn't been products in it before, so I'm always a little cautious when it comes to ordering off their site, but everything went well this time. The shipping took about a week for it to get to me. I live in the middle of nowhere, so that is, you know, a little bit normal. That's actually pretty quick compared to some places. Let's just say I have Sephora 2-day flash shipping and it takes like a week for me to get my stuff where I live, so that is, like I said, normal. I instantly, when I saw this, I loved the color scheme. I am a cool tone lover, even though sometimes cool tones don't look the best on my skin tone. Warm tones actually do, but I really do love cool tones, and I'm always on the hunt for, you know, finding cool tones that actually look good on me. So I obviously wanted to pick this up, plus I love ABH. I am a collector of their palettes, and I love Norvina. I love her vibe. I love her aesthetic. She is just so cool. And she is the daughter of Anastasia Beverly Hills and also the president of Anastasia Beverly Hills, the company. I would say that I'm kind of give or take, you know, how I feel about this palette. It retails for $42 and it is sold on the ABH website, Sephora. It is also sold on Ulta. I don't believe it is in stores yet, but it is sold online. And you will see when I do my demo and I go a little bit more in depth with everything and I do the swatches and everything like that, how I feel about every single shade individually. Obviously this is cruelty free, or else I would not be reviewing it. It is also not vegan. Some of Anastasia Beverly Hills products are vegan. This is one that is not. On the back it says that it is net weight of 0.71 grams / 0.02 ounces each. So it also says that there is a 18-month shelf life on this once you open it. You do get a dual-ended brush like you do with every Anastasia palette. I actually like their dual-ended brushes. I use them a lot. I think that they're one of the few companies that put brushes in their palettes that are actually good. I really like the soft packaging. It, you know, it plays up with all of their other palettes and the soft packaging. A lot of people don't like this because of how dirty they get, but I keep my palettes in their boxes when I'm not using them. So, I mean, I have already gotten this one a little dirty, which to me is not the end of the freaking world. I mean, it's makeup, it's gonna get dirty, it is what it is. I know people like to take pictures of their palettes and stuff like that, but I mean, it's not the end of the world. To me, if something is dirty, it means it's well loved, and that means I like it, right? So without further ado, if you would like to see me demo and go into depth about each and every shade and do swatches and all that fun stuff, and I also got this eye look today, then keep on watching. I am just going to use and do kind of a more deeper look with this, a more sultry look with this. I am going to incorporate this Colourpop Supernova Shadow in Moonlit as well with this look today. I hope you guys don't mind, but I just really want a little bit of oomph. I got a nice outfit on and I want to look pretty. So first I'm going to prime my lids with the Urban Decay Primer Potion in Eden. I'm going to set it with this color base, which is not a full matte, even though it claims these are all mattes, these are all shimmers. I really wanted to do more of a deeper look today. I'm gonna start off with the shade Incest. Kind of sounds like incest. Yeah, just one little. I find with Anastasia Beverly Hills shadows, you really only need to dip in one time and, you know, not super heavy-handed either. So yeah, just be mindful of that. So I'm just taking this into my crease area, which, if you're wondering, the crease area is right where your natural eye folds. And I'm using a fluffier brush, so that way it really distributes the color all over and diffuses it. And as you can tell, these shadows are pretty buildable. I do have my issue with some of these shades, but I will talk about that. The shade is pretty. It's more of a neutral color. This color is mainly cool tones, but you do have like a pop of warm in here, so I don't know. I kind of regret buying this palette because I love cool tone shadows. I really like the shimmers in this palette, but I feel like I could get these shimmers in other places as well. I will say that a couple of these are kind of unique. Wild Child is pretty unique, and so is Rose Gold. I don't want to keep a palette for just a few shimmers. I do like the shades Soul and Love. They're very pretty, but they are satins. They are not mattes. I know that she said that this is all mattes, this is all shimmers. No. There's definitely some sparkle and base in Soul and in Love. I've used Love in my crease and Soul in my crease with other looks, and they looked fine. I mean, they didn't look bad, so that's a plus, right? And you can do whatever you want with makeup. You know, if you want to throw a shimmer in your crease, you can. If you want to, you know, throw a satin in your crease, you can. You can do whatever the heck you want. It's just makeup. Kind of want to warm this up a little tiny bit. I'm going to take a more dense, fluffy brush. This is a Luxie 205 tapered brush, and I'm going to go into the shade Eccentric right here. You do have to be careful though with the shades that you mix in this palette, much like Soap Culture, because if you're not careful, the shades will get muddy really quick. And I'm not going to do a crazy, super crazy look today. I'm just doing something super simple, but like I said, I wanted to go a little bit deeper because I'm kind of wearing maroon, and I got like a bright pink blush on and all that stuff. So I'm literally just tapping in a little bit, dusting off, and adding it. So it doesn't really add, I'm not trying to add a ton of color. I'm just trying to warm it up just a tiny bit. So I'm gonna deepen it up a little bit more with this shade right here called Passion. And I'm gonna use a Morphe 506 brush, which I always say this is a really good brush for hooded eyes because it's small, it's tapered, and it's just great for getting in there. And I'm just gonna pack that on my outer V, which, if you're wondering what your outer V is, it's the outer corner of your eye. This color is a little bit harder to work with. It can come off a little patchy, but it's still a really pretty color. It's the only color in the shade that you can really deepen up the eye look with, because as you can tell, this one looks a little deep, but it really didn't make my eye look any deeper. This shade of Volatile looks a little ashy even on me, but it does pair nice with Soul and Love for a look, for a nice cool tone look. But it is a palette you have to be careful when you're working with certain colors. I don't know if I'm going to end up keeping this palette because the only color, three colors that seem, the only 4 colors that seem to be super unique in this palette are Soul, Wild Child, Rose Gold, and Celestial. So I don't know. I don't know if I'm going to keep it or not. Still debating it. I've been playing with it, and I'm not adding any color. I'm just throwing this into my crease a little bit. just, and you gotta be careful because if you put too much, it gets muddy real quick. So it's just, like I said, stuff you have to really just take into consideration with this palette. I mean, I like the way that this is coming out. The shadows blend really, really, really well. I just don't think that it's super unique. They are skipping a little bit, like in my inner corner area, but that happens a lot to me. And I think it's the way I put my primer on. And I don't think I set it good enough when I get into my inner corner. So I totally think that that is my fault. I'm gonna lay down this Colourpop Supernova Shadow in Moonlit. And I'm not gonna put a ton of product on here, but I'm just gonna lay that down. Just a little bit right in here. And then I'm gonna take my finger and go over Drama and just tap that over. My cat is trying to get in here. Oh, I like that. And then I'm going to do the same thing to the other eye, obviously. I'm going to take the shade Celestial on this super tiny fine brush. Spritz it with some spray. You can use anything. You can use water. You can use setting spray. It doesn't matter. And I'm going to put that right here on the inner V of my eye. Going to take just like the Anastasia brush, and I'm gonna take the shade Eccentric right here and just put that lightly on my lower lash line. I'm going to take the shade Passion with just this e.l.f. smudger brush and just add that really close to my lash line. And I'm just going to take this brush with no product on it and just kind of sit here and smooth this out, blend this out. I'm just gonna use base on my brow bone. Oh my god, that was like so much glitter. Not my thing. I'm going to go in with Dreamer. But I'm definitely gonna spritz this because this is like glitter heaven. I don't know if it's a good thing or a bad thing. Oh, it definitely does pop. For liner, I'm going to go in with a black liner. This is the Tarte Maneater liner. I think they just have one shade. So, for lower lash mascara, I'm going to use the Wet n Wild Mega Length mascara as always. Nothing's changed there. For my top lashes, I'm going to go in with the Marc Jacobs Velvet Noir Mascara, and this is just a mini, because I believe if you're going to buy a high-end mascara, just buy a mini because it lasts about the same freaking amount of time. But I do really like this mascara. Just makes my lashes so long and curly, and it gives them volume, and it doesn't transfer a crap ton with my hooded eyes, so... Like, look at this eye, look at this eye. It's just like absolutely beautiful, especially when I don't want to have the hassle of wearing false lashes. It's just, oh, I love it. Align my lips with the Wet n Wild gel lip liner in Gone Burgundy. And go in with the Milani lipstick and the number 37 Chocolate Berries. It's just super pretty. Oh yeah, that's what this needed. I love this lip color. Oh my god. This is, you know, Norvina's palette. So this is, you know, what she likes. These are her colors. So, I mean, I don't think that they went in it with the intentions of it suiting everybody. Maybe I'm wrong. I'm going to swatch and talk about each shade, and I'm going to go with the bottom row first and then talk about the top row. So, Passion is, you know, the deepest shade in the palette. It is very, very pretty. It is like a burgundy almost. It is a cooler toned shade, and as you can tell, it is pigmented. It's beautiful. I mean, I used it in my outer V today and a little bit in my crease, and it did deepen up the look on my skin tone, but I don't see this working for deeper skin tones that well. So Eccentric is a little bit warmer. It's one of the warmer shades in the palette, considering this is mostly cool toned. It is very pretty, but as you can tell from, I used it and it didn't make my eye look super warm. So, I mean, I kind of appreciate that because I actually love cool tones over warm tones. Even though warm tones look better on me, I actually really prefer cool tones. And then a Volatile is more of a gray brown, and it is a pretty color, but it can get ashy on my skin tone really, really quickly if I'm not careful. It does pair well with like Soul and Love, but it can, like I said, get muddy and ashy really, really quickly. And it blends out pretty good. I mean, I like Anastasia mattes, so I'm not, you know, mad about it. Love, I love. This is a beautiful shade. I would not consider this a matte. There is definitely some sparkle in there. I don't know if you guys can tell when you look at it, but there's definitely sparkle in a few of these shades. Love is just a very beautiful soft pink. It is so pretty. It pairs well, really well with Soul, obviously, and you know, a lot of the shimmers in this palette. So I do really like the shade, and I do find it unique. Incense is just a nice transition shade for my skin tone. It's very pretty. It blends out nicely. I use that today in my crease as my transition shade, and I like it. It blends good, but we've seen it. You know what I mean? Like, it is what it is. We've seen it. You can also tell just by me digging my finger in there, these are super pigmented, and there's a lot of kick up. So I don't think that you get your full money's worth when shadows are like this. But I don't care about fallout and stuff like that. But when it gets to a point that it's so much, it's like, is it really worth my money? You know? I don't know. The shade Soul, this one is a little bit drier than the other ones when you swatch them. It's very beautiful. It's a nice color. It's very unique. The only thing I will say, it's like a periwinkle pink, or it's like a periwinkle purple. The thing I will say though is that it can look almost gray on my skin tone, especially if I pair it with colors like Volatile and stuff like that. So I have to be very careful with how I use this shade. I'm starting to think I like this palette more for the shades that aren't super unique in this, which is kind of bizarre. Then there's the shade Base. Oh, also, Soul does have, it is a satin and it does have sparkle in it, but I've used it in my crease and it's not like the worst thing in the world. So the shade Base right here, it is basically a base color for, I would say, fair to light medium skin tones. You know, you can set your eyeshadow primer with it, you can pack it on the lid, you can do a cut crease and pack it on there, you know. There is a little tiny bit of sparkle in this one as well, but I set my eyeshadow primer with it today and it didn't look like super crappy or anything like that. So I also highlighted my brow bone with it today, and it's like, you can see there's a sheen to it, but it's not anything super crazy. So getting into the shimmers. So I'm gonna start first with the shade Drama, which is what I used on top of the Colourpop Supernova Shadow today. This color is so pretty. It works really good like on your outer V or like a halo eye with something packed on top of it. I do like to use this color as a base before I go over with, you know, like one of these other colors as I did today. Yeah, so I really like this color. I think the shimmers outperform the mattes in this palette. This is the shade Dazzling right here, and it's just like your typical everyday neutral shimmer. I don't see anything special about this. It performs good, it's pretty, that's about it. So the next shade is Celestial, and this color is just so pretty. It's what I have packed on top of Drama, and I just really like this shade. I think it's super pretty, it's unique to this palette, it's just really nice. Then there's the shade Rose Gold. This one is a little bit more chunkier. Some of these shimmers are a little bit harder to work with. If you have super hooded eyes, I do recommend a glitter glue with them. But this is probably the most unique Rose Gold that I have seen so far. I mean, I'm not saying it's the most unique one out there, because there's tons of palettes I don't have. There's tons I have, but there's tons I don't have. I just think this is a super pretty shadow, and I like it. Wild Child is very pretty. I love this. It has like a golden reflect to it. It's just so stinking pretty, but it is a little bit harder to work with. It is a little bit chunkier. You do need a glitter glue with this if you're going to use it, or at least spritz your brush. You got to be careful for some fallout with that. So just a heads up with that one. Next up, we have the shade Summer, which is just like a gold bronze mix. It's super pretty, but once again, nothing that we haven't seen before. And then we have, I literally have cat hair all over this palette. Then we have the shade Dreamer, which is just like your light everyday neutral shimmer. So yeah, nothing special here. It's pretty to work with. I have it in my inner corner. It has like this pinky shift to it, which I think is very beautiful, but it's just nothing super unique. It's just something that we see a lot. So I'm kind of still on the fence about it. Do I recommend it? I can't 100% recommend it. I love ABH. I'm a collector of ABH palettes. I love their formula. I loved Subculture, so you may love this. It just depends on preference. I am a cool tone lover, diehard cool tone fan, but I also love pops of color. I think the shimmers are definitely the, what would you say, the star. The shimmers are the star of this palette. I mean, I don't love this palette for these unique colors that, you know, they have. I love this palette for, you know, like, this shade Passion is beautiful, and you know, the shade Eccentric is like the perfect touch of warmth without being too warm. I do love the shade Love. I love the shade Drama. I love the shade Celestial. I love the shade Rose Gold. I love the shade Wild Child, even though these two are a little bit harder to work with in my opinion. I do think that you can create very, you know, natural looks with this palette. You can go a little bit deeper, but you can't go super deep. And if you have a certain skin tone, this is not going to look good on you. You should just go into stores. It's in Sephora now, in Ulta. I believe it's, no, I think it's coming to stores, and it's coming to Ulta. I'll put it right here soon. I know you can buy it online, but I would say if you're on the fence about it, go in store, swatch it. You know, ask one of the makeup artists in the store to put some of it on you to see how it looks on your skin tone, because I think that it's just gonna look okay on some skin tones and not everybody. I'm not somebody who can do a crazy cut crease and create all these amazing looks with, you know, shadows like these, or in general. I just put makeup on, and I, you know, am an everyday makeup wearer. I'm just, you know, your average mom doing my makeup. So for people that are super artistic and can do all these crazy looks, this might be great for you. I like it, but I'm not sold on it. You know what I mean? I did spend my own money on it. No one sent it to me or anything like that. I'm not going to return it. If anything, I would declutter it and just give it to somebody. But so it's not to the point where I would return it because it's so bad. But it's also not to the point where I don't know if I'm going to keep it in my collection, because I'm trying to, and you guys will see coming up soon that I'm trying to limit my collection a little bit more, because I am a little bit overwhelmed, because I have a lot of makeup and a lot of eyeshadows, and it's a lot of money that I spend on makeup. So anyways, yeah, I'm kind of just rambling. Either way, that is my thoughts and opinions on the ABH Norvina palette. If you like me and like my vibe, don't forget to subscribe, and I really hope to see you guys on the next one. Bye, guys.